Coming on the heels of Apple's multi-billion-dollar investment here in the U.S., a legal group is working to dismantle the company's woke policies. Alliance Defending Freedom has been hunting down Apple, managed to get anti-woke requests voted on by shareholders, disclosing partnerships with groups attacking freedom of speech and religious freedom, just one of them, expand ethical AI practices, another one they got voted on, cutting DEI policies, and removing and identifying child pornography as well. Jeremy Tedesco from ADF joins us now. And Jeremy, thanks for coming on. So explain exactly what you had to do here, because you guys are calling this a victory. You didn't win any of these fights in the vote, but you got this in front of the shareholders of Apple. Talk about what it is you do.
Yeah, the win is setting the agenda at the annual meeting, and we did that here. We did it in really dramatic fashion. There were only 4 shareholder proposals on the shareholder proxy ballot at Apple, and all 4 of them came from religious or conservative shareholders. So what we're doing is taking the fight to these woke corporations and challenging their efforts to undermine our precious freedoms, to distribute and spread child sex abuse materials on their platform, to promote and push DEI in their workforce and in broader society. So we're taking the fight to these corporations through the process. And what it really takes is shareholders who have a position in that company who want to try to drive positive change. And we help them. We come alongside and provide legal advice and representation before the Security and Exchange Commission to make sure these proposals end up on the ballot.
Well, we see this. I mean, we all watch these major corporations bend to this nonsense all the time, because I think they have actuaries that just say, okay, if you just do this, we'll catch less problems than if you don't. I think what you're trying to do is say there's another side to this. You know, it's not just like bend to the Marxist agenda, or you might have protests outside your store. It's now there has to be a calculation, right? Because you're trying to basically say, no, we want you to behave. If you want our business on the other side of the coin, you better not be pulling this woke nonsense. You're trying to kind of push the pressure from the other side, is what I'm trying to say.
That's right. I mean, this has been a one-sided conversation in corporate boardrooms for years. And just recently, conservative and religious shareholders have been showing up to say, hey, there's a different perspective on this. There's a different viewpoint on this. And you need to listen to us, too, because we're owners in your company as well. And I want to address what you said in the beginning, that we didn't carry the vote. Well, none of these shareholder resolutions really almost ever carry the vote. But we did succeed in getting over 5% on 2 of these resolutions. And that's enormous. That's a big victory, because under SEC rules, that means we automatically can bring that resolution back next year. If we were under 5%, we couldn't bring it back next year. So that's a really big win. We have a really hard time because the votes are really controlled by left-wing organizations in the shareholder room. We have a hard time getting over 5%. So big wins. We set the agenda at Apple. We won 2 of these votes by getting them over 5%. And we're driving these corporations back to neutral.
You're sending a message. Jeremy Tedesco, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for coming on.